I went through to my local fish store this morning, so I tried not to pick out too much, but what I did get is a new fish for the 100-liter tank behind us. And there he is. Brand new tank, busy exploring. Morning guys, welcome back to Chris Aquariums. It's early Saturday on my side, just kind of woken up, but it's time to do some work on the tanks. And I thought I'd just update you guys because I've done a lot with the 100-liter tank behind me. We've had it for about a month now, but sometimes I often just go ahead and do it and get it done, and I need to show you guys afterwards. So while we're here this week, I'm going to show you what's been happening with the 100-liter tank, as well as the Goldfish tank, which has been a bit neglected since we got this one. But let me show you what's new, what's been happening, and I'll take you around. So this is the 100-liter tank. It is looking amazing. We got this about a month ago, and there's probably a couple things that you'll notice right off the bat that's different. First of all is that we put the driftwood in. A really great piece of driftwood, and took a while to soak, as you saw in the last video. It takes longer to sink than I thought, but it should be a couple days now, and then we'll put that in the tank too. But I eventually got it sunk and got it put in the tank, and the first thing that happened was a huge algae bloom. Now this is really typical of new driftwood going in the tank. It's just got a bunch of minerals and nutrients in it, and when you combine that with water and sunlight or LED light, it just blooms all over the piece of wood. But as with all of these, give it a couple of weeks and it kind of takes care of itself, and the fish do like to munch on it a little bit as it goes away. So we still do have a small amount left. Let me show you. You can see already that the Cory cat is getting in there to clean up. But just a small amount of fluff that's kind of left on the sides, but that's definitely on its way out. The second thing you might notice when you're looking in the tank is that there's another filter adaptation. We'll get to that now. What I thought is quite cool is the new feeding door. Now this is something that I put in last week. As you've seen before, the lid is just one big piece of plastic. So if you need to feed the fish, you have to move the whole lid to put it in, and then you have humidity issues, etc. So what this is simply a piece of plastic that came with the tank. Cut out a hole and then attach a hinge to the piece of plastic and the tank below, so that it can be opened and closed, acting as a door, also acting as a chute for some humidity if you want to keep it open. So now when I want to feed the fish, it's a lot easier just to open this top hatch than to move the whole tank lid. Alright, now while we're here, let's talk about that filtration that you saw. That's right, we upgraded the filtration on the tank. So you might remember that when we first got the tank, we simply had two hang-on back filters. The reason for that was to have the biological bacteria from the two filters I was already running to get this tank established. And it worked quite well, but now that everything is up and going really nicely, we needed some upgrading for the filtration. And that's why we got this. So as you can see, it's a Dolphin SH380 hang-on back filter. Now the nice thing about this is that it has 4 cartridges with activated carbon, filter floss which breeds biological bacteria, and the additional item you'll see there on the right is a surface skimmer, which means that anything that's on the top of the water will be sucked in, kind of like a pool pump. So if you have any debris that's floating on the top, or even some oil, that section on the right floats to the top of the water and pulls in any of the debris. So it filters not only the water column, but the water surface as well. And that's about all the changes that we've had this week for the 100-liter aquarium. We've had our driftwood being put in, which I think the fish love, additional filtration in the back, and a brand new hinge door on the top for feeding. And as you can see from last time, our albino Cory cat is just having a lot of fun in his new home. And for all those who are wondering, these are the only things that go into the tank. So we've got our Prime to dechlorinate the water, Flourish as fertilizer for the plants, Flourish Advance just for extra growth, microwafers which I'll feed occasionally to help out with the Cory cats, and then a typical tropical flake food. The plants have been growing in extremely well. Just take a look at that Anubias over here. Those Amazon swords are so green. I had a snail, but I took care of him. Java fern in the back has a new leaf which I think is going to grow out really well. The grass has been average. I'm not sure how it'll work out, but we'll keep going with it. Ooh, Amazon sword. This is that pond plant that I brought in. I think new growth is happening. And then our last Java fern and the Anubias nana. Both of them are looking great. So the Flourish Excel, I think my lighting is good, and the last month has been really good for the plants in this tank. And the fish, of course, are obviously doing really well. These neons I have had for months and months, and our angels here chilling on the side. Picasso and Gandalf, the two angelfish. It's amazing how much they've grown from when we first got them. But they're doing great, really enjoying the tank. Have laid a couple batches of eggs as well. Then, as you saw, our albino Cory cat. This is the most active Cory cat I've ever seen. Maybe my peppered Cory cat is just typically a bit slower, but this guy is frantic. He cleans non-stop, swimming all over the tank. And then that's my peppered Cory cat, chilling in the back there, and he usually comes out when it's time to feed. And guys, that's the update on the 100-liter tank. Looking amazing. Plants are growing in really well. Again, give it a few months and I think this will look incredible. Amazon biotope is what we're going for. But now let's move on to something that I agree I've neglected a bit since the 100-liter came along, and that's our goldfish tank. And here are the goldfish. Look how big they have gotten. You're getting absolutely massive. And the two golden apple snails there as well. This tank has evolved a lot in the last few months, maybe half a year or so since I've had it, but it has been and remains to be a low maintenance tank, easy to take care of and beautiful fish to watch. What was surprising to me is this Java fern. There is no substrate in this tank, it's only gravel and a small light on top, and this Java fern has just exploded with growth. What you're seeing now is it trimmed back to maybe a quarter or a fifth of what it was. And the reason I had to trim it back was because it was becoming so leafy that I couldn't get to the bottom to clean it out properly with the gravel back. And once again, this tank needs to be simple, easy to maintain, and it just exploded with growth. So that's been trimmed back. But another thing to note are these golden apple snails. They have also grown quite a bit since being introduced to the tank, and they've done a great job in keeping the algae down. Obviously not much to say about the goldfish tank, it is what it is, but for the most part these are just beautiful fish and they have grown so much, so maybe at some point we'll get them a bigger tank. For now, actually, while we're here, I wanted to try something a bit different for their filter. Let me show you. So the goldfish are getting big, and as you know, we upgraded our previous filter to a larger filter. But the goldfish keep on growing, so when I went back to the fish store to get a new cartridge, they said that these are no longer in stock. And it made me think maybe it's time to think a bit bigger and a bit more complex for our filtration. So I brought back one of these. Now what this is basically a bag of filter media. And inside we've got filter floss at the top, bio balls in the middle, and activated carbon. Now I'm not sure if this will fit, but what I want to do is use this media to upgrade the filtration for the goldfish tank. So let me see what I can make fit here. These are the contents. Let's see how we fit them inside. Alright, well there's the final setup. Let's see if this runs. Wow, it's working perfectly. So you can see the filter floss on the right there is to trap any physical waste, and then the activated carbon and the bio balls down the left is for biological filtration. That's where they grow the beneficial bacteria and keep the tank clean and the water healthy. And I'm sure that these guys appreciate it. Okay guys, that was a video. Thank you for watching. I'm filming the outro on my iPhone because the camera battery died on my other one, but it's actually quite good quality. I might do this in the future. But thanks for watching the updates on my 100-liter tank and my Goldfish tank. I enjoy having you come along in the hobby, and if you're new and you want to follow along as well, feel free to hit the subscribe button. But thank you for watching. There's still more to come with my 100-liter tank and my Goldfish tank and whatever other tanks I end up getting. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.